We got the story from Fox News. A lot of news. Maxine Waters' campaign to pay $68,000 for violating campaign finance laws. Citizens for Waters agrees to pay civil fine and send treasurer to training after FEC probe into 2020 campaign violations. There you go. That's the news. Is that it?
I mean, look.
Campaign finance violations, you get a slap on the wrist, they pay back?
I think that she should go to jail probably because I don't imagine that she's that she's not, one of the more corrupt members of Congress personally. So
remember when she incited violence?
Yeah. I remember when she incited violence. She's continued to do it. It's not just a one-off thing. Right. Anything that can get her out of office, any kind of just anything to get her out of office and out of the public eye, I think would be a good thing.
She'll never leave.
No, she'll do just the same thing that Nancy Pelosi did.
Yeah.
I mean, or Dianne Feinstein.
Yeah.
She will stay there, and she is nothing but poison to the institution.
Yep.
She is absolutely poison.
Yep. Well, she's a vessel probably for corruption.
Yeah.
They just use her. She's a placeholder to maintain their power, because I don't think her district is doing very well from what I hear. It's not doing great.
I want to look up what her district is shaped like.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just a cemetery.
I think the politicians like Waters, they know how to break the law in small ways that, just get a slap on the wrist, whereas someone else might do the same level of corruption, but if they don't know how to do the corruption properly, then they end up in jail for the rest of their life.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Well, I mean, or politically motivated people prosecute them, and they definitely will end up in jail for the rest of the. But that's something that the Democrats have been doing for the past 10 years. Whether it be the IRS looking into people or any number of other times that the federal government has focused on people because of their political affiliations, being somewhat to the right, in any way somewhat to the right. And that's it. They will do everything they can to throw you in jail and use the government to intimidate you. And that's not a surprise to Republicans anymore.
Didn't AOC have some crazy campaign finance issues in the beginning? Wasn't there some?
Yeah, she was accused of funneling money to her. Now, is she married? Her husband or boyfriend?
No, she's married, but yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah, he got like a job with a company. It was like a PAC or something that was like money from her went to them to him.
And no one got in trouble for that.
It's DC for you. That's DC for you. But I don't know, man. I just kind of shrug at this news because it's like, what else is new?
Yeah, and there's never anything that gets done about it. This
fine is meaningless
to
a federal level politician.
It has nothing to. There will be no change in her policy or in the way that she speaks or anything like that. She's going to continue doing exactly what she's doing. There's not even a censure. It's like.
And if there was, she would just start singing in the well of the House.
Yeah, right.
And then they wouldn't do anything about it, and Mike Johnson would be like, adjourned.
And the Republicans, the Democrats will use the full force of the government against the Republicans, and the Republicans can't even seem to prosecute Democrats that actually break the law.
Yep.
It is frustrating.
They're safe. They know they're safe. They get no consequences.
Yeah.
But if you, sir, are accused of rioting and you have proof that you didn't, they'll deny you the ability to show the jury that.
Yeah, and even the basis of the whole January 6th prosecution was trying all of the cases under literally a different set of laws, a different set of rules than AOC when she pretended to be in handcuffs or whatever, or even Hakeem Jeffries when he pulled the fire alarm. It's literally a different set of codes. So you have DC code and then federal court. It's a federal code. It's a different set of courts, where in the DC courts, you get a slap on the wrist, you pay a fine, you do some, community service, and then the charge goes away. Whereas the federal courts that they chose to prosecute all of the January 6th cases in, the minimum is going to be pleading guilty, not this pretrial diversion. It's pleading guilty. You have a criminal record, and the minimum is some term of federal probation, and that is the minimum. So they literally threw an entirely different book at the January 6th protesters than they do for the left wingers who regularly, go and violate some form of DC code when they're protesting.
That's probably, now it seems obvious, but even before, like, conservatives knew That's why there's a lot of people that didn't go. They didn't go because they were like, no, I don't trust the government. And if they decide to start wrapping people up for protesting or whatever, they're going to throw the book at them. That seemed obvious even back then.
AI just can't really get it, can it?
Congresswoman, do you deny the charges?
That's not right.
Charges: fraud, misappropriation, campaign violations.
Why is she saying the question?
Do you deny the charges?
Charges: fraud, misappropriation, campaign violations.
Invergation.
Nice.
Under invergation.
That's great.
Congratulations.
You know,
Wow,
at
these
least
are terrible.
At least it's using actual letters nowadays. Remember,
I mean,
a year ago.
ChatGPT can get full English done right, but Gemini just can't do it. It's just
I probably
weird.
made worse typos in editing videos.
Yeah, I rely on a lot spell check a lot
Yeah.
because I can't spell at all. English is impossible to spell anything. If you have 3 different ways to spell the same word, it's in Chinese. Really? I didn't know that, but it's awful.
Does Serge know Chinese? No, I feel like he would. It just seems like.
Well, Singapore, right? You know, how long were you in Singapore?
We can't hear you, so it doesn't really work for a podcast.
Oh yeah, well,
For those who can't hear Serge, he's speaking Chinese.
yeah. He's just like, oh no, I'm
knows
not gonna.
Mandarin.
I won't join in at all. I mean, everyone knows that the AI revolution is going to be absolutely horrifying at the end of the day. Whether it be people like you that think that it's going to take over. Do you really think it's going to take over?
I think it already did. Yeah.
Go on.
I'm watching governments fully implement their AI. And we've seen things like Palantir. That's why the story with the Palantir thing you guys were talking about.
Do you think that?
Fake
Do you think that
news.
it's
I
still
don't think
run?
fake news yet.
They made up the
because
story and they admitted they did.
I understand New York Times is a liar for sure, but the history of Palantir with the government, Palantir was CIA. NQTel is a
Yeah.
CIA venture capitalist firm.
So you can
They
invest
funded-
in CIA right now?
You own
developed by
shares
CIA.
in the military-industrial complex if you have Palantir, because that Peter Thiel's the face of it.
Yeah.
We know that. Karp, these people, I don't like them, but Palantir's been hand in hand with the Patriot Act since 2003, using data analysis to scrape everyone's data, which will eventually turn into predictive policing, which I really don't think is a good idea. But they're already implementing that in other places. You know,
Where?
like UK has the predictive homicide unit they just opened,
What does that do?
scraping data off the internet to see who is most likely to commit a homicide.
Are they arresting you before you do it?
I believe they probably will. And DARPA just started their own thing over here to predict when people will be money laundering. So it's like it starts off with good ideas. Like I don't think it's good to predict these things, but they're going to sell it to you like, hey, it's good. We're going to fix immigration. Great.
Yeah.
It will turn into social credit score. And Palantir has had a long history with the government. They just did Project Maven, I don't know, 10 years ago, not even, when Google was going to have that Pentagon contract, and Google, they like protested. It was 2017 because they protested. I think it was more about Trump as opposed to them having actual morals with working with the defense, with Pentagon. And then Palantir stepped in, took over. And they've been Biden gave them like $400 million before he left. So like they have a long history with the Pentagon, with the government. So when I see that story, I'm like, well, that's a logical next step, because they've been ingratiated into the government forever. And their relationship with Trump goes back a long ways, even though Alex Karp doesn't like Trump, or he does now because he's rebranded. Thiel's been funding him since 2016.
Yeah.
So I do think governments are doing that. And Palantir is like just one of many. And many people across the world
Palantir's
are
kind of
using
the premier one, isn't it? Like
it is.
data collection.
It is. And they have Foundry.
Software.
You know, and they're doing Anduril. And, you know,
Oh, they're
all
like
like
Palantir's working with Anduril.
Thiel is. Yeah.
Okay.
They're all connected. Like Palmer Luckey came out of Facebook. Thiel funded Facebook. You know, they're all. It's all like PayPal mafia was the beginning. Alex Karp will say that the first Silicon Valley was actually the Manhattan Project, which is a fair point.
Yeah,
And
probably.
you know, it evolved into this. And then you have things that I think are horrifying, like Lavender AI, which is AI just running who dies. They're
Just
using their
tallying
rockets in Gaza, which is like, however you feel about it, fine. But like AI is doing the killing.
Let's
And it
try.
has a 10% error rate.
Let's see how this one did.
What is going on?
Okay, that was really good.
Look at the 2 women behind,
is
just
going
standing there
on?
smiling. Just
That's a good video.
Yeah,
Everything
that
is
was
like
scary.
everything's a movie though for
The clothes look good.
for VO.
Yeah, it looks a little too produced, but I can imagine that exact scene happening in front of a camera.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
And I just want to say,
Fake crying.
Phil, one more thing. The thing that really worries me with the AI stuff is that a lot of the people who talk about the AI, who are in that world, they want to be a monopoly in their field, right? And they want to install something that's pretty anti-democratic. And installing something like an AI government, it'll be an AI like algorithm in charge. And that to them, they'll think that this is an objective piece of a tool. I don't think it's being built by objective people though. So it's going to be flawed, and it should just be a tool, but it will become something that appears to think at some point. Some people argue that it already is. I don't know if that's true or not, but there are people for years now who are from those companies, like the OpenAI people. They think that it might already be conscious and is hiding that fact.
I'm pretty sure behind the scenes, the big companies already have artificial general intelligence.
I think so too.
I thought that was already disclosed.
Artificial general intelligence?
Yeah. So I thought that it was like there was a leak somewhere where someone worked in the industry said behind the scenes the companies already have access to this.
2 years ago.
Yeah, they've already developed it. They've just not released it to the public yet because the concern is we're dealing with the industrial revolution times 1,000.
Yes.
When you get access to these machines and the technology to build all these machines and industrialize, you still have to build all those machines. But when it's digital, white-collar, mental jobs, we're talking about just what someone can do with their own mind and a keyboard. Mm-hmm. You roll that out overnight. It's going to wipe out half of all of the white-collar jobs we have instantly, which will destroy the economy. So what I've read from what is alleged, I don't know, maybe it's not true, these companies already have AGI. Mm-hmm. That is artificial intelligence that acts and behaves as if it is a person, and it's indistinguishable, but smarter than the average expert in any or master of any, white collar job, management, finance, art, movies. If they release it to the public, economy implodes. So they're trickling it out.
I think that's what's happening, and you can read up on how the quantum computing is going to work into all this.
The reason I think it's true is because AI growth is an exponential curve. Mm-hmm. We should not be looking at linear development in AI. It should be exponentially increasing to the point where you get the singularity.
Right.
The event horizon of AI is the AI can develop itself faster than we can, which results in what takes us a year takes a week, then a day, then an hour, then a minute, and then it cannot be better.
Yeah.
Like we can't even perceive of how fast it's improved. Yep.
And that's even if it's just about speed, right? Like it doesn't have to have any kind of like new ways of thinking. It's just the ability to crunch information fast. That will look like intelligence to your average person.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.